Hello, welcome back to MFWoodShop. Today we're going to build a mobile cart for this laser. I just did a review on this laser, a small review, just my initial thoughts, and I'm really liking it. So I want to put it in a part of my tool arsenal so I can use it. The big problem I have with using it in my shop is it's not very well ventilated for a laser. So I want to be able to roll it outside, use it, and then bring it back inside. So that's my main goal. Second goal is it needs to be able to fit through the back door, and it'll obviously fit through the garage door. So I'm kind of limited on space, and it's going to be tight. I need 28. I have 28 inches to clear the door and the door frame and the screen door and all that stuff. So I'm going to be right there at that. I can go a little longer, which I will, so I can mount my laptop on the table as well. So I ordered a articulated arm so my laptop can come over, somewhere like right in here, and I can be able to use the laptop with the laser. And also I need a place for the air assist, so I'll probably have some sort of shelf underneath. Now, with that being said, the shelf will probably come later because the price of lumber is still ridiculous. I spent $75 on about the worst lumber you can buy, OSB and 2x4s and 1x3s, and it wasn't even the good stuff. I mean, it was basically the cheapest stuff they got on their shelf. Now I'm not so sure I couldn't have just bought a 30x30 cart that fits my needs for that price. I didn't look that hard, but hey, I'm gonna make it anyway because that's what we do here. So with that being said, let's get this ridiculously overpriced ugly lumber off my truck. And it never fails. Every time I need to do a project, I need to clean my shop. On a side note, this stuff right here is awesome. It's an awesome cleaner. Works great on glass. I have found you have to use a microfiber towel. Just a side note. I'll put a link in the description. One other side note, sorry. This, if you have the 20 volt max battery series pack, this aftermarket glue gun works pretty decent. Takes a little long to warm up, but it's cordless. I think the first thing I'm going to do is break down the 4x4 MDF because I already know the size and I've already confirmed it, and it would just make things moving a little easier. So 28x30 is what I'm going for. I do need to move my cart just a little. Okay. There's our main board that we're going to mount the printer to. Alright, so we got the laser on the board that we're going to use, just kind of double checking, make sure everything looks good. And I am right where I want to be on this. Got a little bit of lip up here. Maybe I can make some tool holders for this particular tool. And then I'll have a spot where I can mount my monitor, maybe up here, and that way the monitor is in front of me instead of off to the side or something. So we'll have to see when the laptop stand gets here. But alright, my miter station wall is not 100% accurate like it was at my old location, so I'm going to rough cut these and then make the final cut over at the table saw. So I want the 2x4s are going to be the legs. I want that, let's see, but I'm also going to put some wheels on here, and those are 33 inches. So let's cut them at 32, and I need 4 of them. Four legs. Do know my aprons are going to be out of 1x3s, and the longest one will have to be, 30 inches for the top. So again, since this ain't very stable or very accurate right now, I'm going to cut them long, let's say 32. And I need 4 32s. And 4 slightly shorter ones. So with my crosscut sled, that will cut a better 90 degrees than my miter. We will true everything up and get them to the size I actually want. So my fence won't open as wide as I'd like. It's the story of my life. So I set a stop block over here, and the measurement is, really don't matter, just as long as they're all the same. These are going to be the legs. So I have 33 inches, but again, it don't matter as long as they're all the same. Now that my fence is long enough, I just put a spacer block on the fence, slide the piece up to the measurement I want, and run for these. So here I'm just running the legs through the planer so I can get them square. No, I'm not looking for any particular thicknesses, but I am looking for square corners, and the table saw or the planer is a good way to do that. So a couple more passes, we'll be done with this. Let's not forget about dust collection. Okay, so we got 4 aprons and 4 legs. So I can build 2 sides of my design and then work out the final measurements on once these 2 are done. So each side, I'm going to put the side down. We'll have an apron and an apron, I don't know, somewhere probably towards the bottom. Somewhere in there. In later life, I can always add a shelf, a pegboard, or whatever else I need. I will have to add something just so I don't get this action when I push it around. So what that something is, I don't know. Probably the cheapest thing I can find from the hardware store. So I say 3.5 inches up from the bottom. We'll put that leg, and then this one don't have to be, but it's going to be right at the top. And then I'll build 2 of these. I think some glue, some crown staples, and a few screws that will lock all this stuff together. Forty and 5/8. 40 and 5/8 on the nose. One side done. Let's do another. And we should be ideal. Alright, so the next part, I got two sides done. Now I need to join the two sides with the other aprons that I have not cut to size. It was at that moment where I knew I fucked up. Alright, so the 30 inches is what I wanted on the outside. That means I needed to reduce the sides by 3/4 of an inch, or actually 1.5 inches for each side. So now my overall width will be, no, it's still less than 30. Okay, no, that's wrong. I'm confusing myself is what I'm doing. I'm overthinking it. So we remove 1.5 inches of width on those legs. My fault. Totally my fault. So I'll rip the legs down 3/4 of an inch on each side, and we should be back to square one. Okay, so I managed to rip off 3/4 on each side without killing myself. That was not a cool cut, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Do a glue, screw, and square that board. Fun sound, huh? Might mess with the soda, I don't know. Alright, now that we got that built and squared, we can throw a couple screws in here, and the base will be pretty much done. Simple desk chair wheels that I had laying around. No need to buy anything new. And we got a big roll around light duty cart. May have to do lockable wheels in the future. I already see that being a problem. Let's see where we're at. See if my plan came together. It's really close. It's a little smaller than the board, but that's all right. I think I'm just going to pre-drill right down through the top. Since it's MDF, it's not going to move, so I don't really care. extremely well. A lot less racking than I thought there'd be. This ain't gonna be a heavy duty cart anyway, but it's actually a lot stronger than I thought it'd be. This will be an evolution thing. So it'll evolve as more stuff I need or want. And this lets me roll it around and go where I need to go. Those wheels work amazingly well. So my original thought was to actually mount the laser to the cart. But I remember when I was kind of reviewing this thing, I had to lift the laser up to pull a workpiece out because I had handles on it. And I'm afraid that situation's going to come up again. But I don't want the laser to shift positions, because in the next step of this build, I'm going to cut a big square in the bottom of it and insert a honeycomb cutting plate. And so I need this in this position. I got it on the table right where I want it as a 1/2 inch off that edge, a 1/2 inch off this edge. I let this edge a little wild because of the cables, and I let this edge a little wild because I'm hoping I can fit a computer monitor mount right here. This is going to be close, but I'll figure that out once Amazon decides to show up. But I do know that the laser in its current position is exactly where I want it. So what I'm thinking, instead of mounting it down, take some blocks, put on the edge of the feet, on the edge of here. That way it registers the printer or the laser in the same spot if I do have to lift it up, or any maintenance or anything like that, if I have to take it off the stand for whatever reason. So I think I'm going to rip down some of this leftover pine and put it on each corner, a little piece here and a little piece here, and then if I ever do have to move the laser, I can at least register it in the exact same spot. And I think this manufacturer makes lifting feet, and that might be a potential thing I need in the future to lift this whole thing up. So I don't think I want to mount it to the cart as of right now. I think the square blocks in each corner will suffice. I don't think we need to make it any fancier than pin nails. Not exactly what I had in mind, but it's what I got laying around. So we can do maybe this. It's a little small, but it'll work for now anyway. So it's just not wide enough to do all the way across, but like I said, it's what I had laying around. Let's just roll with that for now. I do want to put a brace from one side or the other so that shelf in the future don't bow down. So I'll do that real quick. Alright, got a little brace down there. Just put it right in the middle. And now we can throw this back in. You see it's a little short, but that's alright. Power supply down there for now. We'll add a power strip down here, and then I think I'll be ready for my next step. Perfect. And just a little bit of cable chase right here. That way it still goes, because I can't I maximize my width, so I gotta go inside. So I can put cables down there. I'll have to figure out the exact slack I need for the airline, which is, say right there probably. Yep. So I'll pin that somehow like that, and that'll be good. So you may wonder why I didn't run it all the way through. That's because I'm going to put the power supply just on the back side of this board and wire tie it with these holes. And then also I didn't want to cut all the way through and lose the integrity of the center support, because that would bow down over on this side. So that's two reasons I didn't do it. There we go. Power supply's in place, airline can move freely. May just put some sort of strain relief right there. You didn't see a damn thing I did you? So I got the air tube coming through down to the air assist. Power supply is strapped right there behind that board. And that power cable is drooped down here and it comes back up into the module. So that's all I did. And it's hot in here. So the next thing I want to do, essentially the cart is done. I could use it as is, the way it is. But I got the honeycomb bed and I want to put that inside here, but I don't want to lose any depth in my laser. So I actually want to recess the honeycomb down. That means I have to position the honeycomb correctly so I can cut out a big square and then build another box that goes underneath that sets the honeycomb bed. This bed does the full capacity of my laser, so it should be somewhere right there and somewhere right there. So how do I position this? How do I get it exactly where I want to? I can measure it, but I'm thinking I'll just use the laser. So I'll trace out my work area with the laser, and there we go. So I'll cut off that laser line. By the way, while I mention it, I'm going to cut out the work area or I'm not going to cut it out, but I'm going to score the MDF of the work area. This plate is bigger than the work area because it has these measurements on the sides, which I'm not going to use, but it has an additional frame. The work order or the work area is only what you see in the honeycomb. So that's the only thing I'm going to be able to trace with the laser. Once I get that trace number, then I can account for the frame and set the whole frame in the work area. So my bed should cover an area of 410 by 410. I drew a square 400 by 400, and that should get me really close to where I need to go. And then I can take it from there. So I'm going to frame this because I want to see it. Okay, I like that. So we're just going to do probably 10%. We just need a line. Let's go 20%. 20% power, 200 speed. It should be fine. Okay, perfect. I am going to run that again, a little higher power, just so I could see the line a little better. Let's go 70%. Great. That's exactly what I want. Smoky even for a one cut. Okay, so hopefully you can see it. It's pretty faint, but the line is right there. And because my laser goes back into the same spot every single time, I can cut that square out plus the size of the frame and then set this frame into the MDF. So the line made a good square, and I know that's my open work area for this laser. Alright, took me a minute to get it exactly where I wanted it, but the honeycomb that's in this grid should be the work surface of that laser when I position it on this table. So, like I said before, this has a frame on it, so I need to cut a little bit bigger than what the laser cut. So I need to go out past these little plastic pieces here for the corners. So I'm going to come out all the way out to here. Alright, so I'm going to cut that out. It never works for me. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Perfect. Not snug, but not loose. Just perfect. Okay, I got 4 1x materials glued to the bottom of the table and held with clamps right now while the glue dries. This is a good time for me to go get some food. Okay, to kind of speed this up just a little bit, because I know this video is going to be long and it's really just a table. But I have glued the little braces in. I put a few screws on the bottom just to hold it. I really don't think it's needed, but I did that anyway. I got my honeycomb thing that should fit right in here. Hopefully, yeah, perfect. It's a little proud, but that's okay. To make it completely flush, I would have to do a whole nother process, and that just ain't worth it to me. So now I got an air grid. I do have probably a metal plate that I should have put underneath it. Get that out now. And an MDF. So no play, left or right. Yeah, a little bit left, but that's okay. Now the laser. sits down right where I want it. And it's gonna sit down right where I want it because of those pieces. I might put a hook or, you know, something, maybe, oh, I wonder, that's probably aluminum. The panel, I'm thinking the panel, maybe put it up here like that so I can see it. Right now it's magnetized, and it's not a very good magnet, but it's magnetized right there. But it's not a very good magnet. I'll put a link in the description for this. It's really been a very nice, handy tool to have. It's pretty inexpensive, and it works perfect for this. Okay, the cart's done. I'm going to give her a go. Nothing fancy here. I'm just going to grab something from the art thing. Alright. I don't know how well you could see that. I just did something quick. It's a little angry monkey, I think. Hope you can see that. Actually looks kind of cool. Probably one of the better features that I'm going to have with this is a laptop stand. I'm going to put a laptop stand somewhere, I'm thinking like right in here, maybe even over here. And then I can position my laptop, you know, right about here or something. And I can, you know, work on the laptop and then laser. And then it's all in one bundle, and I'll be able to, you know, move it around, go outside, because if it's a long cut, I need ventilation. So let me pull this off for now. So right now the laptop is just kind of loose. But this is going to be one of the better features. And I'm actually really surprised how well these wheels are working out. I wasn't expecting a whole lot when I put them in there, but they really work nice. I probably need to change at least 2 of them out for locking ones because it rolls so good. But there it is. A completed laser cart, complete with the honeycomb thing in the middle, and it's all set up, ready to go. I can store this wherever I need to store it, and I can use it whenever I need to use it. I'm really starting to get into this, and hopefully I can learn light burn a little bit better and make some cooler stuff. I already have a few ideas that I want to do, and I just need some material and practice with light burn. So there it is, a functional laser cart, light duty, but still plenty strong enough, and I can wheel it outside, and that was the main goal here today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you next time.